Thanks for checking us out again. We were just sitting here talking about our highlight show and how the first 10 was so much fun, and hopefully the next 110 will be even funner. Sarah would say more funner.
I love that word.
So I am Nathan Wickline. Welcome to C Chat. Thank you to Star Hill Downtown at the Dairy Market for hosting us. Thank you for Station C and the powers that be for making sure that we have all this great equipment and all these great folks to come in and talk to us and we can learn about. And I am joined by
Sarah Messer.
There we go.
She'll get it one day.
Tell us about yourself, Sarah Messer.
I'm happy to be here as always. Glad that you're back from the big Vegas.
Yes.
Where you were doing
big business.
Big business.
A lot of
big
business.
Important things.
Right.
No fun. But really didn't get to have fun.
I didn't get to have any fun.
Yeah.
It was horrible travel. There were storms everywhere. Every time I go to Vegas, it's record-breaking cold or snow. Seriously, it was like 80 degrees here, and it's 41 degrees there.
You need to find a different conference to go to at a different time of year.
These are all different times. Yeah, the guy was like, "Oh, we have record-breaking snow on Mount Charleston." And I was like, "Seriously?" And then there's always some weather thing. Last time I was there, it was the first time it snowed in like 50 years, and they had no snow stuff at the airport, so people were stuck there for like 3. That big band of storms that was going up through there, delayed everything. So it was nuts. But thank you for asking. It was thanks for bringing that back.
I love that for you.
Noise.
I love that for you.
And we're also joined by
Eleanor Von Aiken.
this blonde hair blob off
It's
to
me.
the side.
I know it's me. I'm Eleanor Von Aiken, part of Station C, and general manager here at Dairy Market.
Mm-hmm.
We do it. So what's the general manager at Dairy Market do?
Everything.
Do you manage things generally?
I manage things generally. I basically manage like all of operations. So as I explain it, I manage all of the emotional part of Dairy Market. And then Tallheimer, who is our building management company, they manage all the physical part of the building. So they make sure the doors work, and I make sure people come in and enjoy our events and shop and eat and drink.
Yeah. I was here last night. Went to Basta Pasta.
Oh, so good.
And Dino's Pizza, and we were watching the soccer match. I was watching that with a bunch of guys from Dino's and Basta.
Yep.
And,
oh man, they love the soccer matches.
yeah, it's a great little TV setup. So
Yeah.
I had my $2 with me.
Nice.
And they had a pizza, and then we had a little eggplant parmesan.
So good.
It was delicious.
Absolutely
Great
delicious.
place. So get on down here to Basta Pasta.
Yeah.
Well,
I had lasagna the other night. Oh, so good.
They make everything there, right?
Yep, they make everything there, and they make all their own pasta. They have this really fancy pasta machine they ordered from Italy, and
Is
they
Dino
make
the
all of it.
quietest restaurant mogul in town at this point? Is
the
it just-
quietest.
Yeah, is he like you don't hear about him as much as some of these other guys, but he's getting some stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Dino is
Yeah. Not personally.
but yeah, I mean he's great. I mean, he has a place over at Pro Renata now, and
Yeah.
he has the 2 places here, and he works on making sure that he's providing things that people actually want, and
It's good.
changes menus when he needs to, and he's great. He's a
there's
great
our-
business guy.
And
So I need to let him know we did a plug. So
Yeah.
he made us a vegan pizza for our
Yeah.
Station C party.
He has this great like
There you go.
cauliflower crust,
Yeah.
so it's gluten-free and vegan.
Yeah.
And I love the cauliflower crust. I'm not even gluten-free, but I'll get it. It's nice and crispy and delicious and flavorful. Oh, so good.
Yeah, so upstairs we had this like cool pizza beer party going, and then downstairs Sydney had this whole studio set up.
right. So this week, the cool thing we're doing is we are flipping the camera and we're bringing Sydney Koerber
Yep.
out from behind the camera. She is really the talent that makes us all look good and has made this thing.
She makes us younger and prettier and wiser and thinner.
Yeah, right. Yeah. For real. I mean, I don't think that this thing would be a fraction of what it is if it wasn't for your amazing talent.
Yeah.
And I think folks are seeing that, and you're doing some stuff with Station C guys outside of this. And like Sarah was saying, I think it was last
It was last
Oh my
week.
gosh, time really flies.
What day is this? This is Wednesday, right?
Time has
No, it was the
truly
week
flown.
before, right? Week before last.
Yeah, week
Oh, yeah,
before
it was the
last,
week
so-
before.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We're
There we
all
go.
Not
we're
quite.
all behind a week.
All right. Yeah.
Help.
This is
Someone
May,
help.
right? We're in May.
Well, the spring break just kind of like
Yeah.
Right.
sucks the whole.
Yeah, nuts. And I think
Mhm.
those turned out great.
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen
they
some of
turned
those.
out really nice.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was really cool. We, we just saw a lot of Station C people were getting together in one spot, and usually the pain point of video and photos is getting everything to a spot and setting it up. And so we're like, let's just set it up once and kind of let people come and just crank out some content. And it was really cool. Honestly, you should go out and check LinkedIn. I think a couple of them have posted some of the videos they've done, but just to hear their brand story, where, why they're passionate about what they do. And honestly, everybody was really comfortable in front of camera and made my job really easy. So
I
yeah.
think you make it easy. I will say
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
some of these things where you go to do this, it does feel awkward. But this is just another shameless plug for you, because I mean, I've gotten to know you over these past few months.
Mhm.
You make it so simple and easy for folks to get behind these crazy mics. And I mean, if you saw what's going on, these lights and cameras, but you keep it, a very cool vibe, right? And so
Mhm.
it's not intimidating, it's not overwhelming, and I think from the videos that I've seen, that really shines through is your ability to just put folks at ease, and I think that's when you get the best out of them, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate you saying that. That's actually one of our kind of pillars of our company is joy.
Right.
There's so much joy that's missed these days. And so, whether that is when we're filming them or having conversations or anything, we're really just trying to bring out that kind of childlikeness that people, especially business owners, you can get so bogged down with just a million things that you have to do or emails you have to catch up on. But, trying to make people, like you said, feel comfortable and kind of take them back to, why they started what they started and reconnect them with their passion is
And
kind of our.
What's
Yeah.
cool about it is when you said how they got started doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
This is not what you started to do. I mean, you
Right.
are a very well-read lady with letters in engineering, right?
Yeah.
So this is not like you say, oh, engineer and photographer. Yeah, that makes complete sense. I mean, it's like, tell us about the journey.
Yeah. I mean, my journey is not a cut and dry, one straight path type journey. Because to be honest, my whole life has not been like that. But I enjoy that. And
Sure.
so I went to school for engineering. Honestly, thought it was okay. Engineering school is just really boring. It's just really dry. If you can imagine, anybody out there that's watching this that wants to go to engineering school, it is worth it. But the schooling is the worst part. So I kind of swore off engineering like my junior year of college. It was like, I'll finish it off, I'm this far. But and then right out of college, I needed a job and I had one set up. It fell through and ended up finding an engineering job. And so I was like, well, I'll try it. And I actually found out that I actually really enjoyed the actual engineering work a lot more than I enjoyed the schooling. And so kind of got into that a little bit. And then when we moved to Charlottesville, my husband and I, who you met a few times, Ben, who's actually running the podcast
Right, he's
right now.
behind the camera,
Woo!
He's
But
waving.
but when we moved to Charlottesville, I just kind of was like, I felt the call to teach. And so I actually taught at the Covenant School here in town.
Wow.
I taught 6th grade math because I love math.
Bless
and that's kind of what, spurred on my love or my desire to go to engineering school in the first place. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to teach math. So I taught that for 2 years. It was the year that it was 2019, 2020. So we didn't finish the school year there. And then the next year was like, we were masked and 6 feet apart. So pretty much the worst 2 years, I think, that you can
Right.
teach. I did those 2 years, but I really loved it. But toward the end of that first year, so going into 2020, I just had 2 friends that were engaged and they were like talking about wedding stuff and how expensive it was. And I was like, I know, like we just got married. We had gotten married 2 years before that. it's just not really affordable to have everything you want when it comes to a wedding. And so, the bride to be was like, I think I might have to cut some things. And I was like, listen, like, if you're going to cut video, I'm like, I don't know anything about video, but if you're going to cut it, I have a cheap camera. I would love to film it for you. I said, not if you're going to go cheap. If you're going to go cheap, go cheap. If you're going to cut it, because I literally cannot guarantee anything. Right. So she reached out to me early 2020 and was like, hey, can you do that? And so it was actually kind of a blessing that COVID hit, not a blessing, COVID, but the timing actually allowed me just to sit at home and learn. So I learned video and filmed that first wedding in July. And I was like, man, this is fun. I enjoyed it. I to be honest, I just enjoy learning new things. So
That's why you were an engineer.
right. So, engineering and that first job in engineering, learning kind of how that company worked and then learning how to teach and how to connect with sixth graders. And then, going into this, video world, I was like, there's just so much to learn. And it's actually kind of funny because so many people say that video and photography are, really, they're really creative. People say, oh, I'm not creative. You're so creative. You can do. And I'm like, it is so technical. Everything really comes down to if you have kind of the formula and can repeat it day in and day out, you're going to be a good videographer, photographer. And so, I did that wedding, loved it. I don't think I sat down the entire day. If you're imagining working out while you're at a wedding, that's pretty much what I was doing. The sweat and all, and so I just kind of talked to Ben. And I was like, listen, Ben, I think that if we do like a couple more weddings, I think we can really get something going here, that's what we did. We kind of did another free wedding, drove like 8 hours to it. Again, kind of probably second longest day of my life, but overall really, again, enjoyed it. And so in 2021, we ended up doing more and more of the video. We also had our daughter, Grace. And so all of a sudden money and financials had to change. And so I was like, I'm sitting here on a teaching job when I have an engineering degree. So I ended up actually going back into engineering alongside this journey of kind of going into video. And doing those two things alongside each other, I actually really enjoyed because engineering was like, really, it was taxing me mentally and, being able to problem solve and things like that. But then video was kind of a nice outlet of like, I'm still learning. I'm still, it's this fun kind of new exciting thing that was happening and is still happening in my life. And so so kind of those two are that's where I am is just, and then to be honest, this past year in 2022, I had done like a business video. I was like, dang, this is so much easier than weddings.
Right.
I can set, like you said, I can set up lights. I can put cameras where I want them. I can tell people, hey, stop, that didn't quite work. Let's try it again. And so we've really shifted a lot. We still love the weddings, but we've definitely shifted to more of the okay, we've told a lot of love stories. We love the love stories, but how can we tell the passion stories? How can we tell the business stories? How can we tell the story of the people behind these, the sign you see on, like a bench or the ad you hear on the radio? Like, how can we get those people in front of their ideal customers and connect them? And so that's kind of how I got connected with Station C as well, was just, was the perfect place to find people who were just passionate about what they did and did really well as well. That was really important to us. Like we don't really want to tell a story about somebody who doesn't do something well. We really want to tell the story about people who are out here, grinding day in and day out, and are, chasing their dream.
Wow. That's awesome.
I was thinking about, because I did headshots with you when you were here.
Oh yeah.
And it was really neat to watch and hear like how you communicated with people, because it's very easy, but at the same time I can see like you drawing that information out of them, right? And not only to like have them tell their story, but also like learning who they are so that you can get them to do what it is you need them to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's almost, and with the podcast too, it's like, we'll come in and be like, hey, we have this great idea. And Sydney's like, yeah, that sounds great. We're going to do it this way. Right. Nope, that's not what we're going to do. But it's because you really do like absorb information, and like, you just, you want to be like the expert in whatever it is you're doing. And you can tell that with you, that you have become the expert in this. You do understand how these things work and what needs to be said and what needs to be done and where things need to be, so that you can produce the best thing possible. There's a saying in the kitchen world that I learned as a young cook from a chef. And I had started to put something together, and he's like, how is it? And I was like, it's all right. And he took the plate and he dumped it in the trash, and he's like, don't serve crap. Like that was it. Right.
Yeah.
And I've taken that through my whole life,
Yeah.
right? Everything I do. I mean, it's not just serving something that's not good. It's producing something that's not good. It's saying something that's not good. It's, all those things. And I see you do that. Like, you're like, yeah, that's not good enough, right? We're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it this way. And I love that about you. I love working with you, because I see that in you, and I see that you do that, and I love it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Have you started to get traction with the local business community?
Yeah. Honestly, it was so cool. It was even quicker. Ben and I sat down and work out the business trajectory for 2023, and we had our goals, and we had these different avenues and people that we were going to reach out to, and it has just multiplied what we even planned to do. We're on retainer with 2 separate businesses where we're creating monthly content for them. We have done many events. We've done a couple one-offs. Like we actually went and filmed Jon Snow from Station C.
Great.
Filmed him, just like a little client testimonial, from, to get him in front of more veterans, because that's who he was trying to serve. And so, I've done that a little bit, filmed concerts, just a lot of different things have really come into place. And especially with like reached out to like the UVA department, UVA engineering department, and I'm actually going to photograph their event in 2 weeks here at the Dairy Market. So it's been and really cool to see just how that has been, it's just laid out really well, and have gained traction. And actually just had a call yesterday with a business in town that James Burton connected me with, to shoot some video. So obviously most of these connections are Station C, which has been unbelievably beneficial to me, not only in the business world, but also like socially, having friends, seeing you guys every week, seeing the people at the founders group or at the monthly event, has been really cool. Cause it kind of goes to that, a business saying. You're talking about sayings. One of the business or even kind of like studies shows that you need to, somebody needs a touch point with you like 7 or 8 times before they buy from you. So it's been cool to get these touch points in, so that people can start to know me and understand why I do what I do, and then become comfortable with me, because video is it is something that can be uncomfortable. So it's nice to be able to have these connections as well.
What's your biggest out of box kind of thinking? Is there an idea that you've got, this is going to be awesome if somebody would just do it? Anything like that?
Ooh, in general or in video?
Yeah. Just, wow, let's go. You know what?
Let's go.
Let's start in general. Let's go there. I kind of like the way you said that.
If there's one thing that I have found about, I'm always thinking of big ideas. I have a couple that I can't even do right now, because it's just like not in the cards at this life stage, but they're in my back pocket. They're like ready to go. But I really think I'll go video. We'll stick there. But one of the things that I think is kind of on my mind to do eventually, and I think would be really beneficial, is I'm very passionate about sports. I actually played soccer in college, and you went
Sports ball.
sports ball.
The foosball game.
But I, coached for a couple of years and really enjoy doing that. And I think that there's a lot of disparity when it comes to sports, and kids just, if they don't grow up rich or in the right neighborhood, they don't get the same chances. And so I think video could be a cool thing to, to create like little kind of mini highlight reels for kids who, their only shot at college might be sports, but they might not have the means to be able to connect with recruiters or connect with coaches.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of one of the things that I'm not sure when I'll do it, but it's one of those things I really want to do is interview 10th graders, right?
Right. Yeah.
What can go wrong there?
Right.
Yeah.
But interviewing kids and trying to get a face in front of whoever's reading the email that is in contact with them. Yeah.
So you guys are you looking to transition completely out of weddings? Or are you going to stay with that a little bit?
Honestly, I like weddings.
Okay.
I think we'll stay with them. It's just a matter of how many we take. They're such an emotional investment, which I enjoy. I enjoy getting to know my couples and serving them. But it is because of that, it takes so much more time.
Right.
And honestly, like with a business video, when you can storyboard it ahead of time, you know exactly what you want to do, and then you go in, you do it, and the client is happy. But with weddings, because there is that, you're creating just, this story of their day. And I get to choose what audio is used, and I get to choose what clips we use and the pace of it and all these things. So the editing takes a lot longer as well. So I think I don't think I'll ever, at least for the foreseeable future, I don't think I'll get out of weddings.
Sure.
And especially that also is like where we started. So we do have a lot more connections in the wedding industry, and obviously the business side's, it's going really well. We're actually going to launch our business brand. So you should be looking out for that in the next couple of weeks. We just didn't want to I'm sick of people asking me what my business name is and then going and seeing a bunch of wedding stuff.
Do we get a peek in this, or is it a surprise?
Yeah. So
Wait.
No, I can tell you. So
here we go. You know what? I'm hitting the table, Ben. There's the drum roll.
So the name of the company is Signpost Creative.
I love it.
Ooh.
I love it.
And we are just going to be a creative content creation and marketing, soft marketing company. And we mainly, the reason why I gave you the sneak peek was I don't know if I'll have another chance to talk about why I chose that.
Tell us.
But I gotta.
Yeah.
So the reason we chose Signpost was as Ben and I have walked through life. We've actually been together since high school, so we've walked a lot of life together. And we have always kind of had this idea of signposts in our life where we can look back on something and feel confident in the steps we're making because we were carried through in this moment where we thought things wouldn't happen, or this door opened that could have never been opened. And so that gives us, as we look back, that gives us confidence moving forward in business, in relationships, in life, in people, and so that's kind of why we chose Signpost, was because that is such a pillar of our life, and also what we want people to feel when they come, when they chat with us, when they do videos with us. We want to do really well, really good work, so that they can feel confident in the next thing that we would do and the next thing that we would do, and feel confident in that relationship and in the vision for what they are wanting.
Why does City make me feel like I'm just so all over the place in my life? And I listen to her, I'm like, this girl is locked on.
I know,
Jeez
right?
Louise.
You're like, well, I have some work to do.
Yeah, right. But I love that is a great name and a great story.
Thanks.
I mean, that's just gracious.
Talk about a passion story.
That's
I
a
know.
passion story. Yeah, right.
Sorry.
So is there, in your mind, you've kind of worked with different groups. Is there a certain sector of the business world that just they're crazy if they're not calling Signpost creative?
Ooh. Yeah.
All of them, yeah, but
All of
some
them,
like some
yeah.
really it lends itself
Yeah.
towards this. But I guess you're right. Yeah, all of them. But
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the main
sorry, that's on me. Yeah.
Nathan can't stop playing with
Nathan.
anything.
I would definitely say all of them. I think that everybody could use video and photo content. I say video and photo. I'm more passionate about video. I will say that, but I have a camera and know how to do photos.
Sure.
So that type of content. But I would really say it honestly is the people who might not even realize they need it is kind of the people who work a lot with referrals. Because, somebody, if you don't really have like a great landing page website, maybe you did it yourself. No shame here because I totally did mine myself. That was what I could do at the time financially. But people who might not quite have a polished website, might not have the strongest social media presence or online presence. If we make a video of you just introducing yourself, kind of talking, similar to what you might have seen on LinkedIn or even kind of how I've been talking here of like why you do what you do and why you're passionate about it. Then when people inquire with you, because, Sarah told him, hey, I, worked with this, I worked with Nathan and he was great. My only connection point then is, okay, you get that email and you have kind of one chance to make that impression. So why not in that email where you're saying, hey, let's sit down for coffee, let's chat on the phone, let's do something, attach that video of you. Show them right out in the open what,
Right.
Who you are and why you do what you do. And so I think those, and it's tough because I know that those are also the people who might not feel like they have the money for it. But honestly, video is something that you can use. You create a 20 or 30-minute clip, you're set on content for 3 months if you want it. If you don't post a lot, you're set for like a year. These things are just things that you can use everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I think those that's kind of one section. And then the other section is, like I said, we work on retainer with 2 businesses. It's, people who are really trying to have a consistent online presence. And videos are just non-negotiable at this point. They've been around no matter how much Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook change their algorithm, they're never going to kick out video.
Right.
And so having a really nice couple, whether it's 30-minute video or, sit down for an hour and just crank out a couple videos, those are going to set you up to have really good, consistent, professional looking marketing pieces.
So if I wanted to find Sydney Koerber,
Yeah.
how do I get in touch with you?
Yeah. So again, haven't quite launched Signposts, so we'll leave that for now.
We'll blow it up when it launches.
Yeah.
We will.
We'll
I'll link it.
I'll let
Well,
you,
if I'm
I'll let
watching
y'all
this in
know.
a month.
Sure. In a
Yeah.
month, we got signpostcreative.com
Okay.
and it's going. I'm working
One of the biggest launches in the history of websites.
diligently.
Yeah,
Yes.
It was,
that's
it
right.
was pretty amazing.
Yes. It's gonna
Obviously,
be great. It's gonna be
I
awesome.
want to say
We're all gonna get T-shirts and wear them
Yeah.
on podcasts
Yeah.
and everything.
my drag and drop skills in website building are bar none.
There you go. All right.
Parallel. Well, I've got a question, Sydney. I mean, you have such a unique journey, and you might be the only person that can answer this question.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. This is going to be good.
Before the cameras start rolling every day,
Sure.
we have a bit of a diva among us. Nathan's over here calling for wardrobe, calling for makeup, lighting. He needs
It's a lot.
He needs a
It's
snack.
a lot,
Who's
right?
this- you don't
So-
look this good without effort.
So you've worked with Nathan. How does he compare?
Yeah.
I gotta know.
So speaking of makeup,
I could use some.
no,
True. I might have some downstairs for you. If you like.
Nathan is if a bridezilla is a 10 out of 10, Nathan's no more than a 3.
no.
Oh.
See, that's what I'm talking
Because
about.
He-
You're my
he's-
lowest maintenance friend.
He at
I
least
will
knows
say
what he
that.
wants. Sometimes brides don't even know what they want. And then they just
Yeah.
ask me things and I'm like, I don't know how to
Demand-
do that.
I
See,
demand
she's
perfection.
also
But yeah.
really nice.
That's right. I demand perfection. We live a light.
We might up there.
That's it. They're like, you got to go.
Yeah.
That's it. So anyway,
Ben killed the lights.
Warning.
Signpost Creative.
Signpost Creative. I think in a week that'll be launched. But until then, SydneyKoerberFilms.com. That is my wedding portfolio, but you can also inquire through there. SydneyKoerberFilms@gmail.com is how you can contact me if you want to email. Honestly, sometimes I like email better because inquiry forms, you get a little bit of what you want, but really I'm like, let's hop on a quick call. Let's figure out what you want. Cause I want to give people what they want and nothing that they don't. So yeah, those kind of ways. And Station C events. I'm always here.
Yep.
This month I refuse to bring a camera. So I'll just be hanging out.
Heck yeah.
All right.
And that's next week.
Eastwood.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much,
Eastwood
Sydney.
Where is
Winery,
that?
420. It's towards Scottsville. It's only about 13 minutes from where we're sitting right now. So
Okay.
it's
I'm
it's a
so
newish
excited. I
winery.
can't wait
yeah,
to go.
but
Never even heard of it.
beautiful views. We'll
Hmm.
be on the patio outside. If it rains, we do have a cover. So laid back 420 with the gang.
Yay.
All right. Well, week 11 in the books. Week 12 coming up
Thank you, Sydney.
next week. We will see you then. Thank you, Sydney Koerber.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for letting me be in
Eleanor Von
front of
Aiken.
the
Thank you, Sarah
camera.
Mess.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Nathan.
Nathan.
Yes.
Our
well,
fearless
Thank you,
leader.
Downtown
Fearless
Star
leader.
Hill.
And
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Star
Yeah.
Station C. Thank you, all of our fans.
Woo!
both of you. We appreciate
Thank you. Yep. Thanks for all
That's
three
for
of
you.
you.
That's for you,
it. Thanks,
Joe.
Joe and Ben.
Yeah.